Hey, what's up, everybody? It's a lovely Sunday afternoon, getting ready for the game to start, and I thought to myself, it'd be nice to have? It'd be nice to have some guacamole. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to go into the trailer. Got it all laid out. I'll show you the ingredients I use, and if you don't know how to make a guacamole, I'll show you. It doesn't have to be exact, but it does have to be good. All right, let's go. Okay, I've got all the items laid out here. Um, And again, this is your preference, whatever you like to do. Um, you want to have everything prepped ahead of time, because sometimes the guacamole can get messy, and you don't want to have to be opening doors and all that stuff with your fingers all grimed up. But anyways, basically you need a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Now you could get away with doing it with just a fork. You just have to be a little bit more gingerly. Knife, of course, cut the skins. If you're really careful, you could probably do it with a butter knife if you've got a really um, good avocado. So, and these avocados, they were cheap. They're 48 cents. And if you look at what you buy guacamole for, $2.99, $3.99, you can make it yourself for cheaper, obviously. The only problem is that you got to have a fridge for at least a few of these items: the salsa, the lemon juice, if you want to preserve them, the avocados. So anyways, this is what I use. You can add or subtract to flavor to your liking, but you almost always want to use lemon juice. And the reason why you use lemon juice, if you didn't know, it keeps the avocado from turning brown. Otherwise, it'll just turn a putrid brown, and it'll not really taste that great either. What I generally use though is I use onion powder, garlic powder, and then I use some sort of chili powder. Now, what I've been using lately is this New Mexico Hatch green chili powder. This stuff is potent, so you only want to use a little bit. You can get this stuff through the chili shop in New Mexico, and they have a lot of different chili stuff there. And hey, Don, if you're looking, if you're watching, you might want to look up the chili shop or the chili store. I don't know what it's called, something like that. Because you could probably buy it just there in person. And then what I like to do is throw in some fresh salsa. I make sure that I drain off the liquid so it doesn't get it too liquidy. Something I didn't bring in here now, if you like a little creamier guacamole, you can use mayonnaise. Not too much, but that'll lighten it up and make it a bit more creamier. But yeah, let me get things set up here, and we'll get to work. All right, first things first. I'm gonna take these avocados, and you don't really need to wash these. I don't. Something that will help if you want to keep your work area cleaner is you can cut it on your dish or your bowl. I try to use the minimal amount of dishes that I can. So if you can do it just on one, then that's great. You just kind of cut it around like this. Make sure you don't cut into your hand. It's easy to do. And if I can make this slice just one, perfect. I hate that word. Everybody knows I hate that word, but that was perfect. And you mainly just take out the seed and toss it. You can, if you want, stick toothpicks in here or whatever into a little glass of water and try to grow some sprouts and hopefully grow an avocado tree, but you don't have to. And then again, I'll cut it again. But see, this way, I'm only using one dish and I'm not really dirtying up a second dish. Sometimes the skins on these can be a little tough, and I got off a little bit on that, but the avocados are nice and ripe, so that makes it nice. So I'm going to take this and put it aside because I'm not going to use it anymore, and I actually could rinse that off in the sink. So now that we got our avocados all set, what we're going to do is we're going to scoop out the meat. I do that first. And there's, again, there's no specific way to do this. You can do it in stages. You can try to get it all out in one shot, but the end result is get the meat out, right? And then I'll throw that away. I notice on this other one we got some dark stuff going on in there, and I don't know if that's already the setting stages of rot or what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to remove that from the product and not include it. So again, you just scoop it out like so, and I just heard a pit go into the bowl, so I gotta fish that out. Hey, that's that's the way it goes. But yeah, you wouldn't want to bite into that. That would probably be not good. So as I said, you see this little dark part right there. I'm going to try to get that out. So before I do that, I'm going to set this for a second. I'm going to pause the camera. I don't want this to be too long. Okay, now that I got that prepared, what I like to do, and don't be afraid of using this too much because it adds flavor too. I just kind of, on these, I close the cap just a little bit so it doesn't come pouring out. And I just kind of shake some lemon juice in here. Not too much. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. That's the first thing I do, so I can just kind of get it mashed in. You don't have to go crazy. Just kind of mash it in a little bit. Get it a little bit more manageable. I'm sure they got tools for this, but it's just... And definitely use a fork. I mean, you can use a spoon, but it just kind of sends it flying all over the place. So you just kind of have a fork here and mash it up to a certain amount of usability. You don't have to smash it perfectly. You can leave it a little bit chunky if you like. It depends on your use. If you like it chunky, then great. If you don't, then that's fine too. So I just kind of, mainly I just try to work the lemon juice in right now, for the most part. And then I just start adding flavors. And you might find yourself, I don't have any specific measurements, you might find yourself adding or removing, just season the taste. Now this is an old chili powder and it's kind of clumpy, so I just kind of, like that. No measuring, no muss, no fuss. Just kind of like that. I'm going to use the hatch green chili. And you got to be careful, man. This stuff will affect your nose too. I don't put a whole bunch. Oops, that's too much. I don't put a whole bunch. Now what I like to do before I add the salsa, I like to get this sort of mashed up a little bit more. Just enough to get some of this dry stuff in. And it's going to take a little mashing. It's, it takes some work. And of course you say, well, what do you do with guacamole? I mean, it's up to you. If you make a Mexican dish, tacos, or whatever, you can use it in that. I usually use it with tortilla chips, and I just use it as a dip. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been making turkey sandwiches and using this. It's really good. I use this instead of mayonnaise or something like that, and then I just put it on there, and I put it on a little thick, so you can get some thickness to it and a bit of the guacamole. I really enjoy it. Okay, after I do that, excuse me, I take the salsa now. to me, this is what I like doing. I like taking it, I don't know if you can see, and I just kind of pull it like so, and I let some of the juice drain off before I put it in there. Yeah, you're gonna get a little avocado in there, no big deal. Just let it drain off a little bit. I don't like watery guacamole. And if you're gonna use mayonnaise or something, then it's gonna get a little watery anyways. Um, as far as the lemon juice goes, I'll put a little bit more in there. If you find, what I like to do is I like to be able to taste it, but not an overabundance, not too strong of lemon juice. So if you taste your guacamole and you can't taste the lemon juice, not even a little bit, then add a little bit more, and that's usually just about right. Then after that, I just do it like so. Mix it all up. And of course, the important part is taste your work. Taste what you make. I haven't been tasting as I've gone along. I like to get to the final product, and then I give it a taste, and then adjust whatever I need to after that. So we'll see how this turns out. And then you just keep mixing it a little bit like that. Don't, whatever suits your fancy. Well, I got done mixing it all up, and I gave it a little taste, and I ended up myself adding just a little bit more lemon juice, and then a little bit more of each of the powders, garlic powder, onion powder, and the hatch green chili powder. And I think it's come out pretty good. I kind of did the same thing as I did last time with all the ingredients last time that I made it, except I added a little bit more salsa this time, and so I think the salsa had more presence than the rest of the stuff, so I had to doctor it up a little bit. But anyways, this is the final product. Delicious. So as you can see, it's not a difficult recipe. I used to make these by 30-gallon vats when I was a kid. I was a prep cook at a local grill, and we made it fresh every day. 30-gallon vats of guacamole and salsa, and we used to add the fresh salsa into it, and oh yeah, it was so good. Anyways, it's not a difficult recipe. You can make this in a paper bowl. You could probably use plastic utensils to do most of the work. So yeah, it's not an issue. And the only two things you have to keep refrigerated is lemon juice and the salsa. Mayonnaise, if you're going to use that. You don't have to use salsa, so just really the lemon juice. And I know a lot of people don't carry lemon juice with them, but it's a good ingredient to carry with you. You really can kind of zest things up. So anyways, hope you enjoyed, and it was my pleasure making this, and I just wish you all could taste it. It's so tasty. So until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. All right, bye.